The spirit of a murdered magician comes back to seek revenge on a group of 20-somethings with no personality. We watched The Trapdoor, a movie that is 95% yelling and 100% pure shit. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what that means. What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to the latest episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're fucking scary as hell. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. Join me today, as always, my good friend, co-host, the amazing, the awesome, the Mr. Aaron Southworth.
You did it again, you son of a bitch. You probably found one of the worst films I've ever seen. And we've seen a lot of shitty movies, but this has got to be the crown jewel in the crown of crap.
Yeah.
That we've had to put up with each week.
That is why I actually didn't decide not to have a guest on this week, because I didn't want to subject anybody else to this movie.
Unfortunately, my ass had to be subjected
Yeah,
to
unfortunately. This movie, I feel that it needs to be like locked in a crate and lost in a giant warehouse like the Ark of the Covenant, or buried in a desert like the E.T. 2600 Atari video game. Just needs to be wiped off the earth.
Yeah. This is awful. Awful.
Before we get into the goodness that will be this movie, let's take care of a little house clean. We wrapped up round 1 this week of our Horrible Horror March Movie Madness. So round 1 is in the books. Round 2 will start this week. We'll start on Monday. So advancing to finish out round 1, we have Thanksgiving beating out Shocker to move on. We have Christmas Sleigh that beat out Slaughter High. And Stitches beat Halloween Resurrection.
Wow, I'm actually surprised by that.
I was a little surprised by that, too. We do have one. We do need to clear up the matchup between Sweatshop and Splatter University.
Oh, okay.
So that once we figure out this one, then we are totally set. What you have an opinion in that? What's your vote?
Sweatshop didn't make any fucking sense.
No.
But I kind of liked the characters and the kills.
You like the characters? I hated the characters
They were not likable characters.
No,
Let me put it that way.
They were all like just trash people.
Sure, they were trash people, but they were at least characters. You know?
Okay.
Whereas
all right.
Splatter U really didn't have the character in this, I guess. So.
All right, so you're voting for Splatter U to move on?
Yeah. Slaughterhouse sucked. I'm going with Splatter U.
All right, Splatter U. If I vote for Sweatshop, we're still at a tie. So
well, then we'll flip a coin.
We could flip a coin, but I this is what I had to do. I had to sit down like, okay, I went Desert Island. I Desert Island this matchup again. If I'm stuck on Desert Island, which one would I want to watch repeat times if I had to watch it over and over again? Splatter U I thought was fine in its own sense, but it's not great. Sweatshop is awful. It's a bad movie, and it is trash people but at least the gore effects and blood are somewhat, some of the kills are kind of interesting. I never thought I'd say this. I did not think I'd say this, but I'm going to vote for Splatter University too.
Wow.
I thought Slaughterhouse or Sweatshop would be one in our final 4. I really thought,
too, yeah.
But I can't.
You know what's funny? It's like going through the more crappy movies we watch, other ones start going up in my book.
Yeah.
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 It's pretty incredible.
So, all right. Well, there you have it. Round 2 starts this week. All right. So let's jump. Let's get through Trapdoor stuff. Moving on to that. This was released October 11th of 2011. It is found on Amazon. For me, if you have Prime, it was free for me, but for some reason, Aaron had issues with this. So
That's the only place you can find it too. I mean, this place, like we were saying, it should be locked away. It's only on Amazon. Any place I could find it.
It's written and directed by Kennedy Goldsby, who is an African American screenwriter, director. He produces this movie with his brother. I forget his brother's name, but obviously it's something Goldsby. And so that's why another reason why we're doing this is we're closing out our Black History Month of February. It's edited by a man named Eric Chase. Now, he did this movie and another movie called If I Tell You I Have to Kill You, which was also written and directed by Kennedy Goldsby and stars half of this same cast.
I'm not watching it.
No. And the only reason I've never brought up an editor before in the first. This the only time I bring up the same is because this guy. I'm sorry, Eric Chase, but I don't know if it's what you had to work with, or if you need to go back to editing school.
Probably some of the worst editing.
Because the editing in this is holy shit, atrocious with a bold capital 300 lines and exclamation point behind it.
Right.
It has a runtime of 90 minutes, and so which is 90 minutes too long.
Right.
But the thing that boggles my mind about this is the cast. They actually got like name recognizable people to be in this movie.
I don't know how.
Neither do I. They have first of all, the main cover that attraction is Tommy Lister, Tiny, aka Zeus, aka the guy from Friday. Everybody knows him.
Debo.
Yeah,
Debo.
He plays the guy named Jomo, but doesn't fucking matter. But the other interesting facts are that it has Abba Babatunde, who is an African American actor who's very recognizable. Like he might not be a name, but he's one person I'm like, oh, I've seen that guy in a lot of other things. And my research,
he's a character actor.
Yeah, but he's actually won an Emmy. This guy's won a daytime Emmy. He was also nominated for Cable Ace Awards, Image Awards, Black Reel Awards. He's got over 190 credits to his name. He's a legit actor, and he's in this movie.
Man, maybe they just got a great budget, and it's like, sure, I'll do that piece of shit. Why not?
And the only other
he's only in the movie for a combined running time.
He's not in the movie that much, but the fact that he's in the movie, an Emmy winner is actually in this movie. Blows my mind.
People got to eat.
The only other people I'll mention are Chico Benjamin, who plays the guy I call Black Bruce. He's got 30 credits. He was nominated 3 times for Image Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actor, and he's awful in this movie.
Yeah,
he's awful.
Great hairline though.
Oh, he does. That is a tight hairline.
That is sharp.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays the guy I refer to later as scrawny hipster Rick, he played Spike Skulovich on Power Rangers Samurai for a long time.
All right.
And the last person I'll mention is the narrator. Everybody should know is Keith David.
Yeah.
Keith David narrates this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Holy shit.
That's crazy.
You would think it would be so much better. Like, I imagine he was like, he never even saw the movie. He's like, in a sound studio, just read this and we'll put it in later. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain this.
He's done Visa commercials. He's done tons of commercials.
Everything. Yeah, everybody knows.
Tons of commercials, tons of ads, voiceover stuff. And my favorite thing that he was in Men at Work. He was in Men at Work starring Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. He's the guy he's Lewis. He's the supervisor. And my favorite line, and I used to say this all the time when people used to try and grab my fries, is Emilio Estevez reaches for his fries. He grabs his hand and squeezes it real, goes, "Never touch another man's fries." And I was like, yes.
To me, he's most memorable, and to a lot of any video gamers out there who listen, he's the voice of Captain/Admiral Anderson in the Mass Effect series, which is an amazing video game trilogy. So we got the house cleaning taken care of. Let's jump into this giant pile of horse shit.
Okay, if we're gonna jump in, man, I am going to do a back somersault reverse twist because I've got to do something graceful before we land into this absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, because there is no grace once this thing starts.
This thing's awful.
So the movie opens in the year 1931 during a magician's show in some theater, and his pretty assistant and apparently he has two assistants. He has a female and a male
And a
assistant.
hipster.
Yeah.
with a fake mustache.
Yeah. And they're talking about how they're planning to kill the magician who is married to the female assistant. So,
And mind you, this is 1931. He's African American. She's Caucasian.
yeah, which
So-
that's a stretch right there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, whoa, you're kind of going for it. This is also during the time of the Great Depression. I don't know how many magical acts were going on
That's a good point,
at this
too.
time. So it was just kind of like, it just kind of threw me off. I mean, I've got no problem with a black magician or anything like that, but it just, the time setting, I was like,
I just want to talk about that real quick. I was going to bring it up later, but this is like the first, I think, and only time I've ever seen a black magician. Ever. In movie and in real life. Like, I'm friends with a magician. Like, Justin Willman is a good friend of mine.
He's on the show, guest of the show, friend
but-
of the show.
And he's very successful, but I don't know of any magician. I can't name, like, any magicians that
David
are black.
Blaine, duh.
Is he black?
Yes.
Okay. Is he really even a magician, though? Or is he just,
Well,
he's like to
yeah.
me, he's like a stunt guy. He's like, I'll just sit in this box for 4 weeks. That's not magic.
No,
That's just,
He does all kinds of card stuff.
All
he
right.
does street magic. Yeah, David Blaine.
all right, there
Black
you go.
magician.
There you go.
Roasted.
Roasted. So basically, the wife starts getting cold feet, and the hipster assistant starts telling her that it's too late to back out now. The plan's already in motion. And
And it's really funny because they're arguing back and forth. She slaps him, and then he grabs her face and starts making out with
yeah,
her.
you're like, nope.
Yep, nope, you're not going to slap me and get away with it. I'm going to kiss
I'm
you.
gonna kiss you. I'm gonna kiss rape you right now. And so basically, in fact, yeah, they're having an affair behind the
Oh,
magician's
yeah,
back.
we can also talk about how it started, too, with Zeus just standing there with a giant hammer,
Yeah.
laughing. Just laughing.
Yeah, Tiny's lister Zeus.
The first 3 minutes of this movie are insane. People are arguing, slapping each other, making out. There's like these weird like fades of this black actor, or probably black magician with his cape kind of swirling around,
Doing
and then
flourishes or whatever, flashes or
kind
something
of
like that.
flashes, and
Yeah.
just like ooh magic,
Yeah.
And he's got a top hat on, and then it cuts to like Zeus standing there in a black robe with a giant hammer,
Yeah.
just going. Ha, ha, ha,
He
ha,
looks
ha,
like he
ha,
should be
ha.
like an executioner somewhere. Just these big black robes
Yeah.
without the mask. He's just this big wooden mallet.
Right, it's so weird.
Yeah, the whole point of Zeus's character Jomo in this movie is almost like he
Doesn't make
really.
any sense.
There's no reason for him to really even be
Doesn't
in this
make
movie.
any sense.
So anyway, the plan to kill the magician is this: they plan on killing him during one of his tricks to make it look like the trick went wrong, so his death would look like an
It's an
accident.
escape. He's an escape artist.
Yeah, he's
trick.
Yeah, it's an escape trick. The magician Mesmer is his name, is chained and placed inside a wooden coffin. The lid is then nailed shut, and the coffin's set on fire. And this is all happening in front of a live audience. And so during this is where Keith David starts narrating, and I just wrote down, I am shit shocked that they got this guy for this movie.
Right.
Once everyone realizes the trick has gone wrong, people start to panic. The male assistant kicks over the water bucket, on purpose, but
Air quotes,
to make
yeah.
it look accidental.
Air quotes kicked over.
Yeah.
Accidentally kicked it over. Yeah.
Because Zeus now he's going ape shit. He's trying to get the guy out, and he's trying to bash the coffin open with the hammer.
It's not a bad idea.
And he gets burned in the face from the fires, so he gets burnt in the face. The wife just stands there screaming for someone to help, while Mesmer yells out, "I know what you've done. I'll get you for this," as he burns to death. And we jump to the present day.
So 2011.
Yeah, present day.
So it's 80 years later.
Yeah.
80 years later. Okay, let's just remember that.
Okay. So Blondie, we see this blonde girl. We don't even know her name. It's Blondie. She gets a call from some
And
other
this,
girl.
This is another thing. In this like, just kind of like Hollow 2, there's a lot of characters and nobody's names. Like I don't
Yeah.
I didn't get anybody.
Oh, I got him, but it's real late in my game.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it basically opens up with a montage between Blondie getting ready in a mirror and then these two guys driving around in a car.
Yeah.
And the Blondie gets a call from some other girls, and they learn that they both got the same text message inviting them to a killer party from an unknown person. So of course, they're gonna go.
We're gonna go
because of course
Sure.
it's mystery text. We're gonna
Yeah.
go.
And it's really funny when Blondie's talking on the phone to the other girl that's going to the party. Like Blondie's doing her makeup in like a stage mirror.
Yeah.
You know, it's got like it looks like she's getting ready to like be. She looks like she might be an actress or in theater. And then it cuts over to the girl she's talking to, who's got a vase of red roses, and she's twirling one around in her hand, while in the background there's like several phones ringing and babies crying. Where the fuck is she?
Holy shit! I
Where
missed
does
that.
she work?
I did not see that.
What is happening? I'm like, what? Okay, hold on. She's just sitting at this desk. It looks like she's in some sort of office, but there's phones ringing in the background. Tons of phones. Like, it sounds like no one's answering the phone. There's like 3 or 4 phones ringing and babies crying. What is going on? Where do you work? Do you have baby labor? You know. I mean,
Well, if it's the girl, I think it is. 2 of the women in here seem kind of Hispanic, so maybe there's Catholic. And those are just her kids in the background.
But dude, it's bonkers.
Yeah. So we got to the guys in the car get the exact same text message too.
Yeah, there's two. There's a.
It's Black Bruce and scrawny hipster Rick.
Yeah.
So we cut to his old white house, and it's a beautiful house on the outside. It's really cool looking. Kind of like some. I would say, you don't know where this takes place, but I don't know, for one reason, I just think it's like in New Orleans for some reason. That house just seems like it might be down there.
I was guessing L.A. because everything's in L.A.
Yeah. And so there's some other black guy inside the house on the phone telling his dogs to get everyone down this house because it has
really weird.
artifacts and shit.
And this is artifacts and shit.
It's got artifacts and shit.
So this is where it gets really shitty with the editing. So we already had so we've established that there's 2 girls that are going to this party and there's 2 guys going to this party.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, shitloads of other people start showing up. But then, yeah, this guy's walking around. He's got a suit on. He's like, man, tell everybody get over here. Party's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. Woo, man, check out all these artifacts and shit.
Yeah.
And then Zeus shows up.
Yeah.
Zeus is here.
Yeah.
80 years later.
Yep.
And looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Except his side of his face is burned.
Right side's all burnt up. Yeah, and Zeus just shows up, and this freaks out the other black guy, and he runs out to say, he's like, nope, that ain't no party, and just, that's it, you never see him again.
Takes off. But then we get like a montage of people arriving.
Yeah, and they it's like Noah's Ark. They come in 2 by 2, and the second couple that approaches, they get stopped by Zeus too, and they see him, and they just turn and flee.
They take off. They take off running like they're scared.
Yep, never see him again.
So, but then there's other people that show up at the party, and other people are fine at the party, having a good time and everything. But then there's other people that Zeus is like, it's weird because it's like it's still within the first like 5-7 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it
people
is.
are walking around, and Zeus comes out, grabs a couple by each hand, grabs them by their head.
Yeah, right.
Lifts them off the ground and starts like shaking them, and
He's
like
palming them like their heads are basketballs.
Right.
And yeah, off the ground, and he shakes them and then throws them like.
And I was at first, I'm like, are we jumping into kills already? Holy shit, what's going on? Because it gave like the music like
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna fucking die. You know, he's holding them and he just drops them, and they're like, let's get the fuck out. So they run up.
Yeah,
so,
rightfully.
So basically, right off the bat, Zeus is weeding certain people out.
Yeah.
He's certain people can stay.
Like, you're not on the guest list. Get out.
Right, but he's weeding certain people out. That's kind of what I got.
Yeah, that's yeah, and that's the sense that it's given. I got that too. Let's talk about this burn on his face real quick before we go on. Now, to me, it looks like they just smeared like peanut butter on his face and called it a day.
Yeah.
They give like, it's really a shitty burn effect.
I just thought it was like heavy Vaseline.
Yeah, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad. Which wouldn't be so bad if they didn't keep like
Close
showing on it
up
all. Yeah, but every time you see it's like such a close up of it. It's like from a distance maybe it works, but that close it looks shittier and shittier. So the Black Bruce and this other guy in white plaid shirt, black jacket, they get into an altercation over the food spread.
over a cold cut.
Yeah, particularly the meat tray.
So there's shit like the parties. So someone's put out a shitty spread of food.
Zeus, I guess. Zeus.
Yes, Zeus put out a great spread of food, like veggie tray, fruit
some charcuterie
tray,
maybe.
Yeah, a charcuterie plate, and there's these cold cuts. So Black Bruce and I don't know which one.
I don't know his name. I just call him plaid. I just call him white guy in plaid shirt.
Call him the Jew kid, the Jewish kid.
Jewy.
And they're both fork the last turkey cold cut.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ham. There's plenty of roast beef, but that turkey, them's fighting words.
Yeah, it is.
Because they both stab it at the same time, and because I guess this turkey is fucking fantastic, this leads to them getting like nose to nose, ready to rumble.
Yeah, they even decide they're gonna go fight outside.
Yeah,
they're like, let's take this outside. Like, yeah, I think we should.
And then the blonde girl who was earlier put on her makeup,
Yeah.
she's like, fight! Yeah. Fight! She's fucking pumped. It's like she's like a UFC meathead.
Yeah, it is.
She's ready to see some action.
And so they try to go outside, and this is where they find out that the doors are all locked and they're trapped inside the house. So back at the food spread, Blondie sees I just call a sexy hunk guy with deep V, and
gotta get a better name for that guy.
And with his girlfriend, and she walks in, and Blondie immediately tells her other friend that she's gonna do him.
Yeah.
Like his girlfriend saying right there, he walks in like, I'm gonna do him. That's immediate first thing she says.
Right off the bat.
So another girl in a blue dress or blue top shows up. Blondie walks off. Screaming is heard off screen, but it's just Blondie screaming at the now locked doors, which have already been established are locked.
This doesn't make any sense. They've already established that the doors that they're locked in. And, she's talking about how she's going to do this guy. Mm-hmm. She walks off and then immediately starts screaming. And we're talking screaming like she's being fucking murdered.
Yeah.
Like gutted.
Exactly.
Screaming. And she runs, and then everyone just stands around and watches this girl freak the fuck out, pulling on the door handle like, ah! I mean, it's ear-piercing scream.
And even again, they all try to take turns opening the door, even though again they've already noticed they've just tried to do this like 2 seconds earlier. So they start checking other doors and find that several other doors are locked too. Black Bruce doesn't seem to care at all since they're locked in with fine girls, food, and kicking music.
So yeah, this is the stupid part too, is that when they're showing them walking throughout the house, trying to find another door, this is where the editing just gets absolute dog shit.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad because you'll see like 4 or 5 people together, and then the next scene, two people are with other people. Mm-hmm. There's
no continuity.
Never. No. There's never any. They're upstairs. They're downstairs. They're outside. Or not outside, but I mean, they're all over the place, and there's never, ever, ever.
There's nothing that links it together.
One stitch of continuity. Nothing that stitches it together. It's just
garbage. It's pure garbage.
It's like he closed his eyes and just started
pushing buttons
to edit.
Oh God! I like to think that's what they did. Like, if that's what they did, I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine.
It's artistic, guys.
It's artistic.
Yeah.
So more screaming is heard, and this time it's girl in blue dress screaming at the sight of a decaying skeleton that just happened to pop up in the hallway.
Yeah, so they find this start screaming again, decaying. It's a pretty fucking old skeleton.
Yeah,
it looks like it's been 5 years. It's got a little bit of flesh on it still.
Yeah, it's meaty. It's more red than like the grayish white of its bone, but I don't know. It's just propped up against the stairs in the hallway.
And guess who shows up?
Everyone starts. Everybody runs in to see what's going on. They start yelling, and from this point on, this movie is pretty much nonstop yelling from here on out.
Everyone's just yelling.
Everybody's yelling on top of each other. Hardly anybody speaks a line. It's just yell, and who can yell louder.
And the sound quality is, I mean, they don't do anything to buffer the sound or anything, so it's bouncing off a hardwood floor. You hear heels clanking. When they're walking around, so it's just chaos.
Yeah,
it's raping my ear.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to explain it. So yeah, Zeus / Jomo, he shows up.
Yeah, he's
just shows up. He's like, hey, I'm here. And now I don't know, sexy hunk with V-neck guy. He's like, oh, this can't be real because there's no smell. The skeleton doesn't smell, and so he's like, oh. Okay, then, and they just leave.
And everyone just laughs like, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, and particularly Black Bruce. He's laughing at everyone who was scared. He's like, aha, you guys are idiots. You're losers. You were scared. I wasn't scared.
So, yeah, everyone just kind of like, guess it was fake. Hey, no one asks Zeus, how do we get out of here? Can you open the door? Can you please let us leave?
No.
What's going on?
They just kind of like ignore him.
Yeah.
Like he shows up, does some weird shit, and walks
he's like
away.
the host.
And like nobody's
essentially.
like, hey, maybe we should go find this guy and see what's going on. They're just like, whatever.
No.
So
Ugh.
Black Bruce is pretty much just he's a gigantic ass throughout this whole
his name
movie.
Bruce?
Yeah, his name's Bruce.
Just call him Bruce.
Why
Why call him Black Bruce?
I don't know. 'Cause I like the BB sound back to back. I don't know.
That's racist, Mark.
All right, fine, Bruce.
That's his name.
all right. I'm sorry. If it was, I apologize.
Bruce is black, by the way.
He is an ass in
He's
this
an
movie.
asshole.
He tries way too hard to be Mr. Cool, Mr. I'm not scared of anything. I got my shit tight. I'm black. Oh, it's never ending.
All right.
Anyway, Zeus picks up the skeleton and walks away. That's it. He just picks it up and walks away.
Yeah.
Time passes. Blondie, sexy hunk with V-neck, and his girlfriend are wandering around looking for cell phone reception.
And she's screaming.
She's screaming
the whole time.
Well, a noose kind of falls from the ceiling and like brushes up against her shoulder, and she starts screaming bloody murder.
But I mean, if she's not screaming, then she's yelling.
Yeah.
Because she's walking around trying to find reception in the house going, this isn't fucking working!
Yeah.
Ah! She's just yelling. If
Yeah.
she's not screaming, she's yelling.
Exactly. And but nothing happens here. More time passes. Bruce and ridiculously scrawny hipster and three girls, they're walking down a hallway. One's like, hey, I think I hear something from one of the bedrooms. So they creep towards the door, which suddenly slams shut right in front of them. And again, nothing happens because the editing, so it immediately cuts away to sexy guy in V-neck, his girlfriend Blondie, who is, again, like you said, was going on a raging cursing rant just about her phone. And she then just disappears, just vanishes somehow, leaving sexy guy and his girl behind, and his girlfriend. The two of them are checking out the boarded up windows, see if they can try to pry him loose or something. And for some reason, now the room begins to fill with fog.
Yeah.
And what's the response to this? Well, it's certainly not panic, fear, or even to say what the hell is going on or happening here. It's, no, we're going to spin in circles while it completely fills with fog.
Yeah. So they're just kind of standing there like,
huh? While they spin around. The girl says, hey.
It's foggy.
The girl's like, hey, you're hurting my hand. He's like, I'm not holding your hand. Uh-oh, something might happen. No! Because instead of something actually happening, it cuts away again to another character that's just wandering around the house alone. And
what? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, why? And then that's like 2 seconds. Like from there to somebody wandering around the house, right back to sexy guy and his girl, and they act like the fog
never
and the
happened.
mystery of hand holding never happened. Yeah. They don't even talk about it. They don't mention it.
Like, hey guys, bunch of fog just filled up the room.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's like, I'd be like, oh, something seriously wrong, guys. This is filled up with fog. So we're skipping to everyone back together by the front door. Bruce says,
yeah, they go back to the door again.
Yeah, well, Bruce said, hey, he got the door open. He's like, I got it open. But when he tries to open it again, now it's locked. And when they finally do get it open, it's no longer the front door, but on the other side is an old shitty bathroom that has a dead, bloody, and naked woman tied to a chair and a bunch of rats on the floor, except for the one that's conveniently placed right in her crotch to hide her vag. And they certainly didn't get real rats for this because
we should do a hashtag for that, vag rat.
Vag rat.
Hashtag vag
rat. So the rats are these really cheap plastic ones you can see like at Halloween time. They don't move.
Just rubber rats.
I think like one or two of them move, but you can tell they're like they CG'd and really badly rats moving.
I don't think they can afford CG.
But if I paused the movie on this shot to taking my notes, and it's weird looking. Like when you pause the movie, something like, okay, so no big deal. But when I paused it on this frame, everything about it looked off. Like it looked fake. Nothing looked quite right.
Did it look like a drawing?
Yeah, it looked like it was like maybe like they had the bathroom, they shot the bathroom, and then they went back and like photoshopped in like the naked girl and the puddle of blood. Like everything looked like it was layered or something. It didn't look right.
It looked like a drawing to me for some reason because I didn't watch it multiple times and I didn't pause shit. In fact, I fast forward a lot of it. I was watching it and I'm just like, that kind of looks like a painting or a drawing.
Yeah,
or
it
something.
doesn't
Yeah,
look right.
I agree. Yeah.
So more screaming, freaking out occurs.
So, and I find this interesting also that everyone sees this, but no one goes in to like check on her or check it. Or
You're
see
right. They
what's
don't. It's
going
like,
on.
holy shit, is she alive? She dead? They just I didn't even think about that because I'm so bamboozled by how shitty this movie is in other
So
aspects.
they see this dead girl or this girl. At least either you don't know until you check her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she doesn't have any definitive wounds that would say she's dead. Not
No.
like gunshot or a stab wound or anything like that. She's bloody.
She's bloody.
Tied up. No one goes in to check on
You're
her.
right.
No one even crosses
The
the
threshold. That's
to
a
even think about checking.
That's totally
They just close the fucking door.
No, no. I didn't even think I totally glossed over that fact, but you're totally right. So more time passes here.
And that's a very interesting thing. Time passing.
Time.
Ugh.
And so at this point, we finally learn that sexy guy with V-neck, his name is Dean. And Dean's got like the perfect amount of stubble and 5 o'clock shadow, the long hair. He's got the piercing blue eyes. He's supposed to be the dreamboat, I guess. With this.
Marshall, you better fan yourself off, buddy.
Woo! So the show that time is passing, shots of sand falling through an hourglass are shown.
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. There was nothing going on for like 5 minutes. It was just scenes of them walking around, trying to look for stuff.
Yeah.
The hourglass tipping, like they even turn it over.
I was just about to bring that up. Like,
Yeah.
When it drains from the top, you see a hand reach out, flip it over, and start it over again. And I put down, like, I don't get this.
Yeah, and there's people falling asleep, like
Because-
sitting in chairs and sitting on couches. Like,
I want to talk about the hourglass real quick. Because I don't mind the idea of it. Because, the idea of this hourglass is, when the final sand falls, something is like ominous, doom's coming, something's going to happen.
yeah, just
but
like
when
the Goblin King's gonna keep your baby.
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
Little
So,
David Bowie throwback.
but when the final sand drops and a hand just reaches out and flips it over, I don't see it just completely loses the whole
Effect.
sense of suspense or impending doom if you're just gonna
It's like, no, we're just gonna keep this shit
we're
going.
just gonna flip it right back over and start it over again. But yeah, and this brings us back to where you were. People just lounge around, they're doing nothing.
So they saw a dead body, they're trapped, and they're just like, fuck it, I need to take 5.
So
I need to lay down.
yeah, they're
people are,
lounging-
like dozing off.
Yeah, Blondie is off banging on doors again while everybody else is doing nothing.
Everyone else is like laying around, and she's banging on shit. Like,
Yeah.
"Get me out!" Just like she just
And-
can't keep her shit together.
Again, they show the hourglass empty, and some woman flip it over again. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm dead serious now. It has not been 2 minutes since we first saw the hourglass flip over the first time. What's the hell of now? They're just flipping it over. Like, how does that drain that fast? Like, I don't understand. This whole gimmick they're doing is just ruined now for me. So Dean and his chick are lying on a bed somewhere. I'm assuming it's upstairs, with Blondie on the floor next to the bed. And in the room with the fireplace, which I guess is supposed to be the living room on the first floor, we have guy in plaid shirt and black jacket. He's sleeping on the floor in front of the fireplace. Guy in t-shirt and vest, he's now got a brown jacket on. He's sitting in a chair. While the Hispanic Amazon chick is on the couch.
She's big.
She's the biggest person in this movie.
Yeah, her tits must be about the size of like regulation basketballs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. And she talks with that bad
She
accent.
she can barely speak English in this movie.
And when she screams, it just.
She may be the worst
Well,
in this movie.
There's two Hispanic guys.
There are, one's she's the one who can't speak English. The other one's like, Chiquita, like, she's the saucy attitude
Yeah,
Hispanic.
but she's overshadowed by giant basketball tits. Okay.
Yeah,
Always.
I just call her the Amazon, the Hispanic Amazon. She's huge. So Amazon, other Hispanic, and I just call her other girl, and the girl in blue top are all on the couch, just half asleep doing
and again,
nothing.
sorry, there's no names. There's no other way. It's just, I don't know.
So Scrawny Hipster and Bruce, they're not seen here in this room. We don't know where they are, as the guy in vest goes off by himself to take a piss. So while he's pissing, the lights flicker and the medicine cabinet door slams shut, causing him to spin around and pee on the floor. And when he looks down, that he notices that he's been peeing blood.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that this guy has no aim whatsoever, because there's more blood pee on the floor and on the toilet seat than actually in the toilet, which I thought was like, this guy can't aim.
And wouldn't I'd be like, oh my god, I'm pissing blood.
Yeah, and there's just no excuse for bad aim, though. I mean, come on.
Well, he doesn't seem too concerned about it.
No.
It's like, that's an incredible medical condition. You need to go get checked
And
out.
that's a
right
lot
away.
of blood, too. It's
Yeah.
not like a little bit. It's
Your
like just,
kidneys are fucked.
Yeah.
Go get checked out.
it's just pure blood. And so suddenly the room is filled with red light for some unknown reason, which goes away as soon as he opens another door that leads to a room with a guillotine in it.
Yeah.
For some reason. There just happens to be a guillotine in this room. And I'm like, I don't understand what the point of the red light was. Like the guy doesn't even react to red light. Like, holy shit, why did it just go red? So I don't know why they do the red light.
Are they trying? I don't know.
Is that something that's just for the audience to see? Like, do the characters, does that not really happen to them? Like, I don't know.
I got a theory when we get to it later.
Okay. So what does he do with this guillotine? Why, he puts his head in it, of course.
Sure.
I'll just put my head right into this
Yeah,
thing.
you see a flimsy old guillotine that you don't know how sensitive it is. Why
Yeah.
don't you go ahead and put your head in
Stick
it.
your head on in there.
Yeah, with no one else around.
No, exactly. And he sees a skull with one eyeball still in it in the
Yeah.
head catching basket underneath him.
Yeah.
He screams, and he's once again cast in red light as he screams, and it cuts to him sitting in the chair back in the room with the fireplace.
So it was a dream?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like, okay, so what's the point?
Yeah, I was like, okay, was that a dream? All right. And the characters are so not established. They're so not established whatsoever that I actually rewound to try and, like, is this a different person? Is this the same guy? Because they don't establish their characters at all.
Nobody has personality in this. Except for Bruce, who's just a fucking asshole. Tries to be Mr. Cool, but just comes off as a complete dick to everybody.
And everyone else is the same.
Everybody else is the same. Everybody just yells and yells. The only one that I would somewhat establish that might have some kind of personality are maybe Blondie a little bit, and
she's just a bitch.
And yeah, she's a bitch. And then the only one who stands out is Sexy Dean's girlfriend, and she just stands out because she's so bland and dry compared to everybody else who is bland and dry. But the only reason I say it is because she's like the one who doesn't seem to yell.
She's
the
quiet.
most. She's like she's the one who yells the least,
right.
so it makes her
Who's
stand
that
out.
Quiet girl over there.
Yeah.
She's also got big boobies.
She does have big boobs, and so we again. Guy in vest who just was he gets up and goes right back to the room with the guillotine in it.
He goes right back to it.
Only this time everyone else is with him. Everyone's fouled him. And Bruce continues to be just an asshole to everyone, but he's like, this is fake, you're all stupid.
Yeah, so basically Bruce is totally convinced that this is a themed party, murder mystery, kind of whodunit kind of thing.
Or just an all big prank or something.
Yeah.
And so nothing happens with this guillotine. Nothing at all.
No, they just sit around and yell at each other about it.
So we go back to Dean and his girl and Blondie. Blondie is like silently flirting with Dean. Like they're in the bedroom because she's like laying on the bed and she's like fingering herself underneath her blanket.
Dude, this scene
and then smells her fingers.
This Yes. This scene is ridiculous. So we found a murdered body.
Yeah.
Find a guillotine. Things are happening. What do? Let's go take a fucking nap.
Yeah.
So you got Blondie laying on the floor, Sexy V-neck and Sexy V-neck's girlfriend in bed. And Sexy V-neck's girlfriend is out cold.
Yeah, she's out.
Asleep.
She's sound asleep.
But Sexy Dude keeps looking over at Blondie, who's she's got a sleeping bag out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a sleeping bag or just blankets.
Like
I think it's a big
nice
blanket. It's like a comforter. It's like a great comforter.
And she's looking at him. They're looking at each other, and she's you can kind of tell she's kind of like diddling herself underneath. Pulls her hand out, 2 fingers, and just does this slow sniff while she's running her fingers under. I'm like, ew! I don't think that's very sexy. I don't know what's going on. But
it works.
This gets the blood boiling of Mr. Sexy. So
because he takes the bait,
he goes over and starts banging her right next to. I mean, directly. I mean, we're talking like he just has to reach up
Less
his
a foot.
hand,
There's less than a foot. Arm's length away, literally, an arm's length
less
away.
than arm's length away, and he's pounding Blondie.
I mean, this is fucking ballsy. I mean, that is serious ballsiness to do that.
Holy God! So this is an interesting thing too, is that when he gets up and he's banging Blondie, his girlfriend's phone falls out and hits the ground.
Yeah.
And we'll come back.
Yeah, that comes
later.
back. But yeah, it's so. What happened with that is so impossible. It's ridiculous.
Ugh.
But so we return to the room with the fireplace, and the group finds blood on the floor. Everyone freaks
Bruce
out.
slips in it, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce slips in. Everyone's freaking out. Hipster pulls this mover's blanket that's on the couch back to reveal a pool of blood on the couch cushion. And more freaking out, more yelling. Bruce thinks
it's
everything's like, this is fake, this is fake.
You can't make out what's happening because everyone's just screaming
Yeah.
at each other, like yelling at, like arguing over nothing.
Yeah, and Bruce is like, oh, it's fake. I'll even taste. He tastes the blood, saying, oh, it's fake,
It's got
or
animal
it's
blood.
animal's blood. But either way, that's still pretty fucking gross. If that's some animal's blood, he's like, hey, let me just lick that. That's just fucking disgusting. So, however, girl in blue top is now gone. And guy in plaid shirt backs up and trips over a giant black wooden coffin that somehow magically appeared in this room.
All of a sudden, it magically appears.
And how did they not fucking see it when they first entered the room before they even saw the blood? It's right in front of them when they would have run in. And the coffin has a bell attached to it.
So it's the type of bell that's designed so if you're inside the coffin and you are buried alive, you can ring the bell. You can pull on the string and a bell
That's right. Yeah, that's what they explained. It's like for when people were freaking out about being buried alive, they would. I guess this was a real thing. They had a bell that stuck up above the ground. The person inside could ring it to. And yeah. So.
Which is true. They've had those.
Yeah. During some really shitty dialogue, that we learned that the girl in blue top, her name is Kendra. So now we have three names. We've heard at least. Bruce accuses guy in plaid of being involved in this somehow. He's like, you're behind this. Hispanic Amazon, she chimes in with more awful acting and Spanglish. I mean, just awful English.
It's not. She just can't. She's got such a thick accent. It just sounds horrible.
And right before the guy in plaid tries to punch Bruce, but misses and knocks out scrawny hipster.
Who is Bruce's friend?
Yeah, basically. And they all start hearing a soft knocking noise, and other girl says that hipster's not moving. I'm like, well, no shit, bitch. He's not cold. Of course he's not moving. Everyone can see he's not moving. That doesn't need to be said. Now, it's different. It's like, oh, he's not breathing or he doesn't have a pulse.
Right.
But anybody knocked unconscious, they're not going to move. It's just fucking retarded.
Right.
So Bruce is checking on hipster Rick. Now we learn his name's Rick. This is where we learned Rick's name. And this is when the bell in the coffin starts ringing.
And that brings Rick to life.
Yeah.
Rick wakes the fuck up
Yeah,
when
he
it's
does.
ringing. So everyone just, all of a sudden just like goes, the bell's ringing. There's somebody in the coffin.
So they're freaking out. They're frantically panicking, and they're trying to open this coffin. Bruce and Rick run off into the kitchen, look for something to open the coffin
They're trying
with.
to pry the coffin up.
Yeah.
It's like the same coffin that was used in the stunt. It's like hammered shut with nails.
Yeah. And we cut to Hispanic Amazon, who we learn her name now is Alexis.
All right, man, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere.
We're starting to get names now, saying that she can't take this and
I can't
leave.
take this anymore.
And leave. Even though
That's
she's the one who was so concerned, about Kendra in the coffin in the first place. Like, oh, Kendra's missing. We can't leave without Kendra.
Oh yeah, she was also saying, "My friend is dead."
Yeah.
My friend is dead.
And
how do you know your friend's dead?
Exactly.
Jesus.
But now she's like, fuck it. I don't care about it. I'm out. I can't take this anymore. I'm out. So, hearing the commotion, Dean and Blondie come down the stairs, and eventually all manage to get the lid open. And when they open the coffin, they see Kendra inside, and her legs have been cut off, like mid-thigh, just cut, gone.
Above the knee, yeah.
Above the knee. Kendra...
And she's just laying there like, what happened to me?
Yeah, she's like, what happened? She still shows no sign of pain, panic, or
She's
fear.
conscious. She's a little. She looks a little concerned. Like, what happened to me, guys?
Like,
What
how the hell did I
happened?
get in here? Yeah.
What's going on?
She sits up and she starts to get out of the coffin, but for some fucking reason, they all close the lid on her. They slam her back down into the coffin.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Like, why would you do that? I don't get it.
And then they go, wait, let's open it back up.
Yeah.
And so then they open it back
Back
up.
up.
And now her legs are attached. And now her legs are fine.
But now she screams. They open it back up and Kendra, now she's screaming. Not when she first opened it, but they open it a second. Legs are totally fine. She stands up. She rambles on about a black man in her dream. And again, Bruce just starts laughing at everyone for buying into this. He's like, you're all fucking idiots. You're stupid. He's just whatever. So Zeus Jomo, he shows up again out of nowhere.
I don't know. Again, just shows up.
Just shows up. And everyone does start asking questions now, which is like, how do we get out? What's going on? And Zeus just ignores everything until someone asks about the coffin, which Zeus simply replies by saying, not mine.
Yeah.
That's it. So guy in plaid shirt, he steps up to Zeus like, oh, you better give me demanding answers. Like, you better tell us how to get out of this house. And Zeus just grabs him by the neck, lifts him off the ground with one hand, and says, ask her, referring to Kendra, and then just tosses him to the floor. Zeus then walks away, but drags the coffin behind him.
Yeah.
So he likes to take his props with him.
Yeah. If it wasn't his, why is he taking it?
Yeah. I don't.
Obviously, it's yours, Zeus.
Yeah.
You're taking it with you, buddy. Come on, man.
But wait, because it cuts to other girl upstairs alone when Zeus now emerges from a doorway with outstretched hands. I'm like, what? We just literally saw him walking away with a coffin downstairs. Now he's coming out from a room upstairs at random other girl who just for some reason off by herself. This is why the editing, it just makes you like, holy shit, what is happening?
It is awful.
So Zeus stalks after her, but nothing happens again because it cuts to Dean's girlfriend sleeping in the bed. And then to a naked woman getting into a bathtub while Mesmer talks about his greatest feat, which is tricking death itself out of its unwieldy power to steal time for all his enemies. What is happening? What? That's all I can say. This is just insane. So now we see separate ghostly images of Mesmer and his wife walking around the house.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
And
Mesmer descending the stairs.
And for some reason, he has cobwebs hanging off of his ghost.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen a ghost with cobwebs. Why would a ghost have cobwebs?
He's got his top hat on.
He's his full like magician. He's got his cape, hat, everything.
He looks dressed in nines.
And he's got cobwebs
on him.
His wife, who I'm guessing is the other girl, she's like in this nice dress like thing.
Old timey dress.
No cobwebs on her.
And they're walking around for like 2 minutes. And there's nothing. It's just they're just walking slowly.
Yeah.
So I know you may think 2 minutes isn't a long time, but it's a fucking long time.
It is.
TV time. When you're trying to watch this, you're like, okay, what's going to happen? Nope, they're just walking around.
Yep. So screaming is heard while very quick shots of dismembered legs in a bloody bathtub are spliced in while the wife's ghost continues just to walk around. Now, Mesmer, his voiceover says he needs a subject and you will be my subject as the camera shows Dean's girl asleep in the bed.
Yeah.
And it's now bathed in red light too.
Yeah.
A very hard cut to the waking up and seeing Dean sitting on the edge of the bed. He's like, I did a terrible thing. I didn't mean to.
So it seems like Dean's about to fess up to Bonin.
I just got carried away. Oh, but everything's okay.
Everything he's saying is like real vague and strange. And if you've been in a relationship,
but it sounds really serious.
Yeah, if you've been in a relationship, you'd be like, tell me what the fuck's going on. You know, I mean, your spidey sense starts tingling. You know, but he's just like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just cuddles in her lap, and she's like, okay, baby.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Exactly.
Everything you just said should cause concern.
A lot of
Yeah.
concern. So at this point, we learn that Blondie's name is Suzanne, and Dean promises he will do whatever it takes to get them out of the house.
I would die.
I will die to
I
get
would
you out
die
of
to get you out of this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is really.
He really packs it on pretty thick. Man.
Yeah. He's.
So now, Dean's girlfriend picks up her cell phone, goes to take a piss, while peeing.
When she picks up the cell phone off the floor, it's face down, mind you.
Was it? I thought
it's regardless.
Okay.
It's screen down.
While peeing, she starts watching a video on her phone, which is of Dean fucking Suzanne, and she starts to cry. And this is where you wanted to talk about the cell phone. So let's go into this.
The cell phone falls out. When it fell out, apparently what it must have magically have done was to turn on the camera function, access the video app of the camera function, and start recording at an angle that was perfect enough to actually record, sexy guy banging Blondie.
And here's the other thing I didn't like, if you notice about the video footage of the camera, but that she's watching.
It's from behind.
It's from a top.
Yeah,
Because Dean's on top, and he's got this back tattoo. So the camera is supposed to be on the floor. It would have been like straight on with their two heads, but this is definitely shot from above them.
You're right.
So that's also fucked up.
Everything about that was just
everything about it's
awful.
wrong. Everything's wrong.
So all of a sudden, Dean, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Dean.
Dean's girlfriend knows.
Yeah.
Dean banged Blondie less than a foot away while she slept.
Exactly.
Which is really fucked up.
And so we jump downstairs to where everyone else is arguing over what time it is now. Now they're arguing over the time.
Oh.
And Alexis, the Amazon, brings up her missing friend, which is the one we saw Zeus chase down the hallway.
I still can't find my friend, guys.
The house begins to shake now, and what the sounds of like hammering are heard.
Yeah, like Zeus's hammer time.
Yeah, and apparently it's so loud. It's like they're acting like it's black canaries' canary cry or banshees scream because they're all covering their ears and like, oh god, it's so painful. And it starts up again, and shots of the wooden mallet hammering nails in the
like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. And once it stops again, everybody starts arguing with each other over who fucking cares at this point.
It was you didn't cover your ears.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What? You know something.
Yeah. So suddenly Dean and Hipster Rick are in some whole other room looking through old boxes and finding pictures of Mesmer and his wife. And plaid shirt and guy in vest, they're up in the attic. Now, I have a big problem with this accent because they're standing right in front of a window that is clearly not boarded up because it is just sunlight is flooding into the room.
Buckets of light. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Which they never acknowledge this, nor do they try to open this window to escape or signal for help. And I'm also pretty sure that's the one thing everyone has been screaming about. How do we get out? But they do nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking daylight.
Yes.
All of a sudden, when it's been established that this whole time it's supposed
Sunlight
to be at
is
night.
Just pouring in.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even need light. It lights the set. I mean, it lights up the entire attic. I was like, this blew my mind how they let this slip. Like, how do you not take measures to prevent that? I don't. So anyway, Kendra and Amazon Alexis are down in the basement for some reason. I don't know why, but they're in the basement. Excuse me. Kendra sees a shadow of someone coming down the stairs and starts screaming.
Just screaming.
She doesn't try to run or hide. She just stands there screaming like a fucking lunatic. And Amazon Alexis, she comes over to her, and she too stands there watching the shadow come down the stairs.
Joins in the screaming.
She just stands there, and it turns out to be Bruce.
It's just Bruce.
Now, how in the goddamn hell do these bitches not see that it's Bruce coming down the stairs?
You see tennis shoes, you'd be like, oh, it's Bruce.
Like,
or the clothes that
if they would stop screaming at the shadow on the ground and just, I don't know, maybe look up, they would see Bruce clearly coming down the stairs.
Right.
So Bruce now ends up pranking them by making it look like something grabbed his arm when he reaches through this hole in the wall. And in this hole, he finds folded up papers which turned out to be the deed to the house and a family tree.
Yeah.
Really? I'm like, ugh.
Stuck behind the wall.
Why the hell would the deed to a house be folded up in a hole in the wall?
Right, in the basement.
In the basement,
cellar.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, that is some Scooby-Doo bullshit right there.
Yeah.
So, more scenes of people going through old boxes, finding old letters, newspaper clippings.
Which have no... Yeah, they're basically going through these... They're going through clippings of Mesmer's career.
Yeah.
And these...
And articles about his death or something like that.
Mind you, 1931.
Yeah.
1931. There wouldn't be... One, the print is completely off.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that one.
And also, the picture quality. It's fantastic picture quality.
Yeah, you can tell
not gonna
they manually aged. Like, it is, oh, well, it's ageless paper. We'll, make it a little yellowish and...
It's not even that yellow.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just
fantastically maintained.
It's just dog shit.
So...
And you may say this nitpicking, but you know what? Everything's been so dog shit in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm just going to dump on it more.
You might as well, because they can't...
Put it underneath my ass, and I'm
because
just
they
going
get
to put my
nothing
knees
right
up.
in this movie.
Nothing. And I will give them credit if they do something good.
Yeah.
But they haven't done
I actually give them
shit.
credit. I do give them credit for two things in this movie.
All right.
So we find out that guy in a plaid shirt and black jacket, his name's Mark. So we get another name. So now everyone's in the basement, and for some stupid reason, Amazon Alexa, she wanders off, and she screams from off camera. Everyone rushes to find her in a bathroom where they find two severed legs in the tub.
Yes.
Bruce, who's still playing the I'm so cool and this is all a fucking trick card, despite everyone yelling at him the whole time.
Everyone's against Bruce.
Yeah.
And everyone's totally like, dude, something fucked up is happening. Something's horrible. He's the only one now that believes that it's still just a hoax.
Yeah.
And he's
because he's Mr. Cool. Like, I can't be scared of anything. He picks up one of the legs to prove it's not real and takes a bite out of it. And not from like the calf or he takes a bite of the bloody stump end. And he's a little taken aback. He's like, oh, but he's like, no, it's still fake.
Yeah.
Even though he just
ate human flesh.
Yeah. So at this point, Hipster Rick loses his shit.
He does. And he just starts going bonkers.
He unleashes on Bruce, yelling at him to stop acting like this. Stop, just stop being the way you are. And before I gotta comment on this, I'm gonna go on my little soapbox here about hipsters and the fucking glasses he's wearing. He's wearing these thick black glasses with no lenses in them. And I fucking hate this hipster trend.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's no lenses. I've seen this a lot now. In other TV shows, I see people wearing glasses with no lenses as some kind of fashion statement. And I fucking hate it. Because you know what? I wear glasses. And I don't want to wear glasses. I would not, if I don't have to wear glasses, I would not. And if you're going to wear glasses, put some goddamn lenses in them. Like, I don't know why, but I fucking hate it. And he does in this movie. And I don't even talk about this guy's ridiculous flock of seagulls haircut he has. Yeah. I mean, it looks like he stuck his finger in a fucking electrical outlet. It's the worst hair I've ever seen.
Straight up.
So anyway, Bruce, he's like, fuck it, I'm not changing. He calls everyone a dickhead. He's like, and he even pushes Rick.
Yeah, his boy.
Yeah. So we cut to Kendra, who's lying on a bed. And now Rick's still in this room. We just go from fight basically to she's in bed.
Fight in the bathroom now. She's in bed.
And Rick, hipster Rick, is in there. And she's like, tells Rick, hey, if I fall asleep, don't go anywhere.
Now, this is what bothered me, and I don't know if you noticed
this. Like it's Nightmare on Elm Street all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's like, don't go away. So there's a bed, and there's a window. And then there's drapes on the window that are blowing in the wind.
Holy shit, are you serious?
They're blowing in the wind. So not only is there a second window, but it's open!
I didn't know that. I missed that.
But it's open!
Holy shit!
So the window is open, and the sheets are moving, the drapes are flowing. And there's an open window in that room!
I totally missed that. Holy fuck. So she asks him to lay down next to her, which he does, and they make out, and it's really bad kissing. It looks like kids kissing for the very first time.
I fast forward through it.
It's awful.
I don't like the fast forward through sex scenes, but I'm like, this is not a sex scene.
It's not.
Yeah.
Kendra tells Rick that she likes him, and he says, that's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding
This guy's
me?
a total loser then.
That's the nicest thing someone's ever told him. Like, I'm at this point, you know what? Fuck it. With those fake ass glasses and that retarded haircut, I can believe it. I can believe it.
But he was a Power Ranger, Marshall.
He was I don't know if he was a Power Ranger. He was in a Power Ranger show.
Okay. All right.
He was Spike Skolovich. Fucking name. So she tells him to go turn the light off while she takes off her bra. No tits are seen. They go back to really shitty, poorly making out. And she doesn't even care if he has a condom. She's like, oh, I don't care. We're doing this. And I think they have sex, but who knows? Because it's really shitty. It's basically just them making out, rubbing some hands over her leg.
Yeah, but they kind of show the tattoo on her leg.
Yeah, they show a tattoo on her ankle. And the next time we see Kendra's face is after it's over when they're spooning. Like, she's rolled over and they're spooning. And for some reason, she starts crying.
And a tear falls
Like, it's like
down.
it's like the sad ending on the side of the road. Just one single tear rolls. I'm like, I guess the sex was that bad? Or you had sex with the hipster? Like, why are you crying?
What's the problem?
Yeah. Like, I don't get it.
God damn.
So, we're back to everyone else now. They're by the front door yelling and arguing again.
So they're back at the fucking door.
Alexis is still in the bathroom with the bloody legs, and she's talking to Dean's girl. Dean's girl shows her the video. She shows Alexis the video of Dean fucking Suzanne.
And what does Alexis do? Comforts her on her gigantic boobies.
Watermelon boobs.
She just grabs her head and just goes, "It's okay." And boom. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, her boobs are so big.
So all the guys are hounding Bruce now to tell them what he found in the hole in the wall, but Bruce is refusing.
Yeah.
He says it's a matter of freedom of speech. It's a matter of free speech. Ever heard of it? And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
I just wrote down at this point, God, I hate these people. There's absolutely zero reason as to why he shouldn't tell them. Like, there's no reason for him to keep this a secret.
Right.
Other than to just intentionally be an asshole. And they just really want to make, at this, like I said, the filmmakers are hammering that fact home. That he is Mr. Cool, Mr. Tough Guy. I only do what I want. I'm an asshole. Whatever. So, more arguing and more pissing contest ensues until Mark pulls out a fucking gun. What? Why would he even have a gun in the first place?
And, why do you have a gun?
Yeah.
He pulls out a gun out, like, the back, right out of his ass.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. You have a gun. Why wouldn't you use this gun to intimidate Zeus?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Here he is getting you. He's the guy who gets into his face and he's dragging that coffin away, going, "You need to start telling me some answers. You need to tell me this. You need to let us out of here." Blah 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 blah. Zeus grabs him by the neck and throws him away. Wouldn't you then get up and get that gun and be like, "Okay, buddy, shit's gotten real now."
Or,
yeah.
The only thing I thought of is you see all the time in movies, but if it's like some of these old doors or something like that, if they're locked, shoot the locks on the door. Maybe try to shoot the or open the door. I don't know.
I don't know how much a 9mm holds. 10 shots if you have
10.
One
It depends on the clip. 10, 15.
Yeah, just start plugging away, man.
So of course Mr. Cool isn't scared of the gun in his face. So Bruce attacks Mark. They struggle for the gun. During the struggle, the gun goes off, and we see Bruce on the ground bleeding from the abdomen. Bruce appears to die. More yelling and arguing about Mark killing Bruce and how he only meant to scare him. Guy in vest shouts out that Mark couldn't have killed Bruce because he took the bullets out of the gun and replaced them with blanks. What? What?
To which Mark replies, "How dare you mess with my stuff?"
Yeah.
And the guy in the vest goes, "I knew sooner or later you'd pull your piece. I didn't want you to hurt anybody."
Yeah.
So apparently Mark's a real asshole.
Yeah.
Pulls his gun on people. And his buddy wanted to make sure he didn't kill anybody, so he replaced his magazine with blanks.
So Alexis and Dean's girl now, they show up and they've joined the rest of the group. Suzanne finds the papers in Bruce's pocket while Dean and Mark argue some more and yell.
They go through Bruce's dead corpse.
Yeah. And they
find out if he has $20. Jesus.
They all decide to go tell Rick that Bruce is dead. So we cut to all of them walking into the room where Rick is sleeping. Dean wakes up Rick, tells him Bruce is dead. Alexis tries to wake up Kendra, who is right next to Rick, but starts crying for some dumbass reason after Kendra doesn't wake up after she says her name one time. It's like, Kendra, oh my God, she's dead! Like, maybe try a little harder. Give her a little nudge before you jump to the conclusion that she's dead.
But guess what?
She is, yeah.
She's dead.
They pull the sheets back to reveal Kendra's legs have been cut off, and the filmmaker's throwing some more red lights in here for good measure, and fuck, I know, it's done.
You want some whiskey?
Yeah, actually, I do want some whiskey.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm just about done with this flask here.
So, Dean and Rick, they get into a fight over something. It's broken up. Dean starts beating up the walls. They all go to the bathroom where they found the legs in the tub. Rick,
turns the leg over to inspect it, and it's the same leg with it's like the same tattoo on the same place where Kendra had it. So it's Kendra's legs.
Yeah, exactly. So once they realize the legs are real now, again, more flipping out, more yelling. Dean yells at Mark to be rational. Now, this is one of the only two. This is the one time line in the movie I actually liked.
Okay.
Because Mark responds by saying, rational? We have half a bitch in a bathtub. For some reason, I thought that was funny. That's the one line of the whole movie I actually enjoyed. Half a bitch in a bathtub.
Not bad.
So Dean suggests that they all take a look at the family tree, and they see some names that have been crossed out on it. And they start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Everything's starting to come together. But suddenly, Dean's alone in a hallway now, and he hears someone calling out. He opens the door. The skeleton from before falls out. And there's this big box, like closeted box in there. He opens it up, and it's the missing random girl that the group has pretty much completely forgot about and gave up on, despite Dean told her, we were looking all over for you.
The last time we saw her is when Zeus was reaching out towards her.
Yeah, and that was like 20, 30 minutes ago at this point. Even Alexis, the one who's so worried about friends, like, nobody cares. Like, wait, where's this little girl at?
Yeah.
Who, her name turns out to be Alina or something like that. Elena, I think it is. And she tells him that the monster thing put her in here, so I guess she means Zeus.
Zeus is the monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they all go back down to the basement to look at the family tree some more. So I don't know why they need to go into the fucking basement to do that, but they do.
Sure.
And Dean notices that his last name is on the family tree. And one by one, they all start picking out names on the family tree that they're somehow related
relatives or whatever.
Yeah. So now they've all realized that they are descendants of Mesmer's wife or her lover, or Mesmer himself,
or Mesmer himself. Yeah.
Or I think even the male assistant,
Zeus.
No, the white guy with the fake mustache. So the lights go out. No, I'm sorry. Suzanne starts laughing. She just starts laughing and then drops to her knees, yelling out,
"Oh my God!
We're sorry.
So
we didn't do anything.
This is crazy." So yeah, they're all yelling at each other, talking about the family tree, and it just cuts to her in a above shot with like a spotlight, and she's got like booty shorts on and like a tank top, and just falls to her knees, and she's just like, "Wah! We're sorry!"
You're just missing like the rain coming down, the mud.
Is just crazy overacting.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Spare us! We're sorry!
Oh my God.
So the lights go out here. Chaos yelling. No surprise there. A single spotlight comes on to show Suzanne laying on a carpet. She's now apparently been possessed by the dead wife, who tells them what, and basically says she goes explains like how the wife was killed later, and how Mesmer came back from the grave to kill them, being the wife and her lover.
Yeah, like what was she killed? Like,
I don't remember how.
Like slices all over her body.
I don't remember who the fuck. I didn't pay enough. She warns them that they will never get away. That he's coming for you. And now Rick gets possessed by Mesmer, and I just went, "Oh my God, this is fucking awful." It's because Suzanne now she has the gun. She points it at Rick, saying that he's the one coming for them, not me. Possessed Rick starts trying to appeal to the others, saying, "Hey, come on, guys, I'm one of you. I'm cool." But it's like it's not even his voice.
It's not his voice. So it's not Susan's voice. It's not Rick's voice.
It's the voice of Mesmer.
It's the voice of Mesmer and Mesmer's wife.
Yeah,
and they're trying to like
lip sync it. It's so ridiculous
really
looking.
Off.
It's hilarious.
really off because especially the blonde girl is really, really trying. She's using her mouth so big with
It's
all of her
it's
words.
one step to be like bad Japanese dub. I mean,
Yeah.
it's awful.
It's really bad. There's this particular
It's comically
one,
bad.
There's a particular one when the gal goes,
The liar?
"You're a liar,"
Liar.
and then she goes because the voice goes, "You're a liar," and her mouth opens up so big like she's screaming,
Like she's
"You're
yeah.
a liar!" Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so bad.
So apparently there's this big metal door in this room, and Rick goes to open the door, and Suzanne warns him not to open it because if they open this door, they were either all going to die or something was going to happen. But anyway, Suzanne warns him not to open it, and Rick just simply says, "Bitch, please." And he turns to open the door, but Suzanne shoots him in the back of the head. So after she shoots him, she snaps out of her trance or possession, and it's like, "What? What happened? What went on?" So everybody's of course freaking out. "You shot Rick." She's like, "No, I didn't. I didn't know what happened." And he's like, "I'm going through that door." So the door that Rick wanted to open now swings. It swings open a bit, and I'm thinking, I guess this is the door that's supposed to lead to the way out at this point, but I don't really fucking know or I care.
Yeah.
And Suzanne, who's holding everyone at gunpoint, closes the door. But after some more nonsense arguing and yelling, Suzanne decides she doesn't want to stay there, so she opens the door, which is now supposed to be locked, and walks out. The door behind her closes, locking the others in. Banging starts coming from the other side of the door.
And it's not even that loud or banging.
No,
it's like
it's
thumping,
banging. It's thumping.
thumping and banging.
And it opens, and Suzanne walks back in.
She looks pretty roughed up.
Yeah, she's like, she looks like she's seen some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
her hair's a mess.
Yeah, and she's wide eyed and like she's staring off, and she says that she saw Jomo again Zeus, and she tells the group that Jomo told her that he was surprised that it took them this long to find him, even though they've seen him throughout the whole house.
Yeah,
and that they were so close so many times that they were there and they didn't even know it.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that fucking means. So, one by one, they all decided to go through the door to see what Suzanne's talking about. Except for Dean, who grabs his girl, whose name we finally learn an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. Her name is Robin.
So this is fucked up. So Dean is saying, "Robin, you stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Stay back so you can rescue us if something goes wrong."
Yeah. If we get locked in, or you can open the door from this side, I want you to stay here where it's more, at least safe-ish. And
and she's like, "Fuck that!
No.
I want to go with you guys."
She's like, no, I'm gonna come with you. And even Alexis, then for some reason, she comes back and tells Robin to come on. Dean can't be trusted. Which makes no fucking sense why she'd say, because Dean hasn't really done anything to show he's not trusted.
To Alexis's defense, she's the only one.
Except for, he had sex with Suzanne.
Yeah, so girls, girl power, girls still gonna stick together and be like, "Oh, this Bendejo can't be trusted. He's been banging the old blondie behind your back."
I understand can't be trusted maybe with other girls, but can't be trusted too.
Doesn't matter, man. Girls see it all the way
Whatever.
through.
I thought that was fucking weird. So anyway,
I know all about it, man.
Robin drops the P-bomb on Dean.
Yeah.
I'm pregnant. Like, oh my God, they kiss.
Which Alexis is like, I'm
out here. I'm out here now.
She leaves. Dean and Robin start kissing. And then Dean's excited. But then Dean pulls back
and punches Robin in the face.
Bam!
Knocking her out cold. She drops to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Cut to the others walking down some hallway that
being led by Zeus.
Yeah, no, led by Suzanne. It leads them to Zeus.
Okay,
he's just standing there at the intersection,
he's just hanging out. And again, light is pouring through all the windows,
and it leads them to a service elevator. So now we're not even in a house. We've gone from a house to this is like some Resident Evil mansion shit.
Right.
Like you're in the house and you go underground. Now you come onto some big industrial warehouse.
Right.
Like, what is going on? So they get to the service elevator, and they all get on. Jomo flips a switch, lights go out as the elevator starts to descend. As it comes to a stop, the lights come back on, Jomo is gone. Everyone's flipping the fuck out for some stupid-ass reason.
Freaking out.
Like they're they're acting like they're trapped in this elevator,
They're
but
gonna die.
as soon as they try the gate, it opens right up. So now they're running down some other hallway with Jomo seen stalking behind them all of a sudden, like he's chasing them, which just makes no fucking sense because he was just leading them somewhere earlier.
Yeah,
So why? Anyways, they end up in a room filled with more black coffins, where the guy in the vest starts freaking out. So more yelling happens. Guy in vest shouts out, "It's not what I think, it's what I know." That's one line that I get from all this screaming. Dean opens the coffin to reveal Suzanne dead with wounds across her neck and her upper chest.
And like on her thigh, too. Yeah.
The heavy metal door of the room slams shut, locking them in. Mark opens up another coffin and sees the head of Guy in vest in there. And this guy in vest starts crying. He's laughing, he's crying as it fades to black.
And he's looking at his head, it pans back to him, looking at his head, pans back to him, laugh, crying, fade to black.
Fade in on a still image of Bruce, bathed in red light as Keith David takes over narrating. Now, it explains it goes one by one, each person, who that person is in relationship to how they relate to Mesmer or the wife, their relationship.
Bruce Bolton.
Second cousin, some of them twice removed or some crap like that.
Second cousin of Mesmer was found with no bullet hole
in
his dead body.
And he says how they all died. So we're going to go through them because...
Sure, yeah, go.
So Bruce...
Glad you wrote it down.
Yeah, I wrote these down. So Bruce was removed from the living room when he was found with no gunshot wound to his body. Dean Tisdale was pulverized. His pulverized body was pulled from beneath the elevator door. Mark Pierce... His remains were found riddled with hundreds of rusty coffin nails. Alexis. We don't know what happened to her because it's said that the family blocks any and all info about her demise, which is bullshit. You can't do that. I don't know how you could do that.
It's pretty dumb. Well, I guess if you're making a movie.
Elaine Sanchez, the random girl, her charred body was taken from the guest room shower. Kendra Miller was removed from an upstairs bedroom while her severed legs were found in the master bathroom. Suzanne Pratt, every bone in her body was found to be broken. Cut to Robin, now who's shouting, "No, no, no, no." And she's trying to hold on to like a corner of a doorway or something.
As paramedics are trying to drag her out of the house.
While she's being dragged up by two paramedics. Once they get her out of the house, the door slams shut behind the paramedics. And the ghostly images of Mesmer clapping, doing like a slow golf clap or something like that.
He's like, what a fucking movie.
And his wife are seen walking around, fade to black, roll fucking credits. That is the fucking trapdoor. Holy shit, what a pure mound of just... It's like the Mount Everest of shit there.
That is... Ooh, we climbed that mountain.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm not any better.
We stuck our flag in it at the time.
I'm not any better for it.
All right, so this is where we go into favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
Problem with this week is there really no kills. So the only thing I can assume that we can try to do is, given on how we found out each person died at the end, which would have been your favorite
show, yeah. Which one would have been your favorite kill?
Yeah.
Sure would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what we'll do. Out of how they actually did die, which one would have been, sounds the coolest?
All right, I'm going to go ahead with that. I'm going to go with Blondie. 206 bones in the human body. I want to see them all broken. So yeah, I'd go with that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm curious about Blondie, and I was curious about Pierce being pulverized underneath the elevator, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going with probably Suzanne too. Like, how would every bone in her body been broken? Yeah, that's it. Real short, sweet. Because other than that, it's fucking bullshit.
There's nothing left. I mean, there's no.
There's no kills. There's nothing to, except for maybe Mesmer being burned alive at the very, very beginning,
or Bruce being shot,
which turned out doesn't even really happen.
But he was dead.
Yeah. So moving on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings for this movie. You are gonna flip your shit on some of these. Well, at least IMDb.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
4.5 out of 10.
That is absolute ridiculous.
That is
So
insane.
basically, you're saying 5 out of 10 people who see this, essentially,
Half of them like
would
it.
like him. No, that's not true.
Does not compute with
No,
me.
Don't believe it.
Rotten Tomatoes, nothing. No thermometer score. No, not even an audience score.
Well, this is a hard movie to find.
It is. Amazon. Now, this is where it's surprising. Amazon.
3.5.
No. So this is the first time Amazon actually did something right. 1.6 out of 5 on Amazon. So that's the first time we've ever seen like not a 3 or something on a
Sure.
shitty movie. Plot keywords, there were none. Absolutely nothing for this movie. So
Wow.
yeah. If we want to make up our own plot keywords, I'm gonna say yelling. Screaming, arguing, yelling, take your pick of any of those. Anything else you want to throw in there, Aaron?
Coffin and suicide, because I would probably kill myself if I have to watch this again. It's horrible.
Okay. All right, for trivia now. Only one piece I could find. And this will blow your fucking balls off. This movie won Best Horror Film Feature at the 2011 Action on Film International Film Festival. I just wrote holy shit behind that.
Well, let's find out what is that organization.
Well, I looked up their website. I looked out because I want to like see what.
If it was done by the director, this is something he made.
It's not like his own person. No,
yeah.
I mean it's like a legit thing. There's all sorts of. It's not like Sundance or Cannes or anything. Cannes, whatever it is.
Yeah, Cannes.
But it's still, this movie won an award for best horror movie. It beat out movies called Children of the Hunt, Addicted to Blood, Psycho Killer Bloodbath, Absentia, and Hellphone, which sounds like a modern remake of 976 Evil.
Hellphone.
But so, like, how bad would those movies have to be if this was voted better than
I don't
them?
want to, Marshall. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
So, we would move on to budget game, but surprisingly, there's no budget information.
No surprise. That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, I didn't. I did send out, try to get information. I did send messages to Kennedy Goldsby, the director, and the girl who played Robin. I found her. I sent her some messages. I never heard back from them. So who knows? Moving on to 5-star reviews.
Is this your guilty pleasure? 5-star reviews.
Now,
There are 5-star reviews. for
actually,
this?
there are no 5-star reviews for this movie.
Not a surprise.
Not a one.
Not a fucking surprise.
Which I think is a first. Like, we've done some shit on it, but I don't know if we've ever not had something that didn't have at least one 5-star review to it.
Did you have 4?
The next highest star review was a 3-star review.
Wow.
So I wrote these down because there's hardly anything, and it's a 3-star review. So from Muffin, this movie was bad, very bad, but oh, how it entertained me. First off, the acting was horrendous, laughably so, especially from the lady who plays the mean blonde. There's no X-ray on this movie, so I don't know her name. I don't know what she means by X-ray. She alone is worth watching this stink fest. I've seen several of the actors in other projects in which they give decent performances, so maybe it was the direction that made everything terrible. In any event, if you got a free Friday night, some wine in a box, and an unlimited supply of cheesy pooch, this movie is for you. 3 stars.
Ugh.
No.
No. Muffin, I agree. Horrible acting, but I was not entertained by it. I mean, Hala 2 was more entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
The Hala 2 sucked.
Yeah, it did. 2-star review from Darren James. Waste of money to make crap like that. 2 stars. Which I kind of agree.
Why did you get the 2nd star?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why even get, and then 1-star reviews. Some of these are pretty quick. So Lawrence Chan wrote, a bunch of moronic, way too cool hipster types getting trapped in spooky mansion. One woman in particular is a perpetual state of hysteria and does nothing but scream and run around like a chicken without a head. 1 star. I don't know who that would be. That could
Probably
be any
Blondie.
of. It could be Blondie. It could be Ken, or they both do that. Monica Kopaz. This movie could not possibly be worse. I got an IMDb account just so I could warn people how terrible this movie is. Saying that this movie has bad acting would be a compliment. Stupid storyline, randomly jumps from scene to scene. The women never stop screaming, and it's not even possible to like even a single character. There are random scenes of people walking down corridors and jump shots of people sleeping or wandering without any purpose. There are characters that don't even have any purpose. I stupidly thought that this might be a fun horror movie, but it's a disgrace to the genre. The movie relies on cheap horror tricks and random screaming to get its thrill factor. Viewer beware. 1 star.
Yes.
Well said, Monica Kopaz.
Well said.
Now, the last one is probably the best of the best to read.
Oh.
It just as this hits the nail, pretty much sums it up, I think. From Empire Falls Strikes Back. This is not even a movie. It's a mess. Incoherent incompetence. Was there a script? Did anyone read the script if there was one before greenlighting this project? No storyline, no character arcs, no hooks, no setups, and thus zero payoffs. The majority of the cast don't even know they're in a scene. Obviously, the filmmakers just cast their friends or squeezes. With a couple exceptions, the acting was atrocious. Even the great narrator's voice and 1 or 2 decent acting performances were completely overpowered by the total lack of clarity in his clumsy-ass storytelling. As for editing, well, a story should arise out of the edit bay, but it needs to be on the page first, and then in the can. I don't know, maybe the editors had little decent footage to work with. All the movies have outtakes, but what is actually on the screen here was the best stuff they shot, then this thing was doomed from the onset. The makers of this POS piece of shit have no business making movies. Ugh, painful. 1 star. Yeah.
Do a slow golf clap, courtesy of Mesmer, to tell you how bad. That's a great review.
Yeah, that is a great review. All right, so fucking final thoughts. This is a no-brainer. Aaron, final thoughts on this one.
It's so bad. It's absolutely petrifying. Like, it's not even scary. Do not watch this movie.
Yeah.
Even if you hear this and you think, oh, it can't be that bad, I'll have to watch it. No. Don't do it. Don't do it, folks. This is a PSA.
This is why we do the show. Do not watch this movie. And if you do, we warned you, but God have mercy on your soul. Anything else you want to add before I
No.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about this thing anymore.
For me, I totally agree. 100%. So bad it is scary. I did want to say one thing about. I did say there were 2 things about the movie I liked. One was the line about half a bathtub in a bitch, or half a bitch in a bathtub, and the other thing was the ending. Now, I didn't mind the idea that it went through and said Dean, how they were found, the body was pulverized, every bone was broken with the narrator. I didn't mind that. I actually thought it was a kind of a neat concept. It was just everything leading up to it was so atrociously done, and the one good thing I liked about the exit was just didn't pay off, and it was so poorly executed that it just falls flat. But I like the idea of that. Okay, it turned out they all died in this house somehow, but they should have done a more clearer job of kind of giving you that. If you went back and watched, okay, that's where that person dies, or this is where that person would have died, to explain how Blondie gets bones broken when
right,
and how one girl got charred, burned to death. Show something that would indicate that this is what happened in the end, and then bring it back together. I would have been okay. That would have been kind of cool. I would like to see, but they don't execute that at all. It falls flat. So yeah, but I like the idea. They just didn't pull it off.
The idea of it, you don't like it.
Yeah. So total, 100%. So bad it's scary. Do not watch this movie at all. We're just gonna wrap it up. I think we are drained from this movie.
My head hurts.
We are going to go take long, hot showers and just scrub, not together, but we're going to scrub the shit off of us that is this movie.
Sure you're not together?
All right. So, yeah. All right. I can't even speak anymore. I'm so dumbfounded by this movie. Follow us on Facebook. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter at SoBadIt'sScary. You can find us on Podbean at horriblehorror.podbean.com. We're on iTunes as well, where it's free. Subscribe to us, like us, check us out. We're also on Instagram at Horrible Horror Podcast with underscores between the words. So that is going to do it for us. Peace out, Moon Goons. We will see you down the road.
Take care.